Welcome to Top 10 Event YouTube channel. Subscribe and bell the notification button to get more new videos every day. Now we will present you about Top 10 controversial homework assignments. Number 10. Beer brewing assignment. Students brewed beer inside the classroom and were encouraged to learn more about the fermentation process outside of school hours. This included how wine, champagne, and vodka are made. For extra credit, students were urged to tour the nearby Coors Brewery, which allows men and women who are at least 18 years old to visit without adult supervision. This assignment was met with resistance by a few hesitant parents. They feared that exposing underage students to alcohol would send a conflicting message while offering little educational value. One parent was afraid that such an assignment might spark her daughter's interest in the violent alcoholism that ran in her family. Number 9. Serial killer assignment. When a teacher asked his 9th grade students to do a comprehensive report on serial killers, he may not have considered the madness he would spawn. At Northern Bay College's Goldsworthy campus in Corio, Australia, which is also a high school, the teacher provided the students in his forensic psychology class with a long list of potential projects related to serial killers. Examples included: create a cartoon illustrating how a serial killer would murder someone, write a poem about a serial killer, put together a children's book that would teach children about serial killers, make up a serial killer board game, and draw a floor plan of a serial killer's dream house. Number 8. Slavery and mathematics assignment. In the United States, slavery is a sensitive topic, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that parents, community leaders, and even the NAACP became involved when a controversial homework assignment that combined slavery and math was handed out to 3rd graders at Beaver Ridge Elementary School in Norcross, Georgia. 2 teachers distributed to 4 of the school's 3rd grade classrooms an assignment that asked these types of questions: if Frederick got 2 beatings per day, how many beatings did he get in 1 week? And each tree had 56 oranges. If 8 slaves pick them equally, then how much would each slave pick? When the young students brought the assignment home to their parents, some awkward conversations ensued. As one parent stated, "Now my son is asking questions about slaves and beatings, and I have to explain all that to him. I felt he wasn't ready for that." Number 7. Nazi homework assignment. In 2013, a high school teacher in Albany, New York decided to tread on this inappropriate line. She assigned her students a persuasive writing essay with the prompt: "You must argue that Jews are evil and use solid rationale from government propaganda to convince me of your loyalty to the Third Reich." It isn't surprising that over 1/3 of the students refused to complete the assignment. They argued that the topic was not debatable and that no right could be found in the Nazi regime's actions. Almost immediately, word spread across the city about the controversial assignment. Fingers pointed at the teacher who created the assignment as well as her boss, Albany Superintendent Marguerite Vanden Wingard. Number 6. September 11 assignment. In 2013, a teacher at Fairview Junior High in Alvin, Texas did just this, but pushed the envelope a little too far in most people's eyes. Specifically, the teacher asked her students to pretend they were trapped in one of the towers or planes involved in the September 11, 2001 tragedy. Furthermore, she instructed her middle school students to write a letter to an imagined loved one or friend as they faced death. Parents of the students were understandably upset when they found out about the assignment. They claimed the teacher had gone too far by requiring their children to write what amounted to a 9/11 suicide note. Number 5. Native American assignment. When math teacher Richard Vesbach handed out an algebra puzzle assignment to his high school class, there was no controversy at first. The beginning of the puzzle asked harmlessly enough, what happened after Chief Shortcake died? But once the problems were solved, the answer to this question caused quite the stir among a few parents in Minocqua, Wisconsin. After dinner that night, one of Vesbach's students showed the assignment to his mother. He asked her to explain the joke, specifically the punchline, "Strawberry shortcake." Outraged at what she saw, the mother, who was a member of the Lac du Flambeau tribe, posted an image of the assignment on her social media page. It was quickly passed around the community and became a hot topic at the school, which had a 22% Native American population. Although the term "squaw" refers to woman in Native American Algonquin languages, the word has evolved into a description more sexually charged. It is often used to demean Native American women and equate them to nothing more than sexual objects to be desired by men. Number 4. Stomping on Jesus assignment. So, is it possible for a college professor to create a controversial assignment for his or her class? Let's study the case of Florida Atlantic University professor Deandra Poole. In Poole's intercultural communications class, students were told to listen carefully to the instructions of the teacher. Poole read from a lesson book that stated, "Have the students write the name Jesus in big letters on a piece of paper. Ask the students to stand up and put the paper on the floor in front of them with the name facing up. Ask the students to think about it for a moment. After a brief period of silence, instruct them to step on the paper. Most will hesitate. Ask why they can't step on the paper. Discuss the importance of symbols in culture." Although the lesson was meant to be jarring, many students in Poole's class picked up the piece of paper, put it on their desk, and refused to participate in any further discussion. They were already highly offended by even being asked to step on Jesus's name. As one student stated, "I'm not going to sit in a class having my religious rights desecrated. I truly see this as being punished." Number 3. Sex toy assignment. At Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, Professor John Michael Bailey's Human Sexuality course was one of the most popular classes. In this assignment, students were invited back to the classroom that evening to watch a naked woman perform on herself with sex toys. The woman's highlight of the night, using a sex toy attached to a reciprocating saw, an act that led to a lot of wide eyes that evening. Earlier in the week, students were warned that the act would be graphic. Those who chose not to attend were not penalized for their decision. However, the students who attended were not the ones who protested the assignment. Instead, the university administration stepped in with complaints of their own. The president of the university said, "I simply do not believe this was appropriate, necessary, or in keeping with Northwestern University's academic mission." Number 2. Public killing of a chicken assignment. The performance, which was part of a class assignment, went as follows. The male student walked into the school cafeteria with a live chicken in his hands. He cooed and comforted the chicken before suddenly slitting the bird's throat, leaving blood to pour over the floor. If that wasn't enough, the student plucked the chicken's feathers and stuffed its corpse into a large cooking pot. Understandably, many students were upset, having been caught off guard by the violent act. They were also unwilling to accept the students' justification that the stunt showcased the gap in our understanding of how food arrives on people's plates. Surprisingly, The student escaped much of the criticism. Instead, fingers were pointed at his professor, Gordon Ferguson, for signing off on such a horrific act. Ferguson had been a well-respected instructor in the college's sculpture department for 32 years. Number 1. Obama assignment. This one is not so much an assignment as a class requirement. In fall 2012, Sharon Sweet, an associate professor of mathematics at Brevard Community College in Florida, forced her students to sign pledges that they would vote for Barack Obama in the upcoming presidential election, after being handed a sheet of paper that read, "I pledge to vote for President Obama and Democrats up and down the ticket." Each student was asked to sign his or her name at the bottom. It doesn't take a college graduate to understand that pushing one's political beliefs on a group of people who didn't ask for it might be a bad idea, as soon as word got around about the professor's action. Brevard Community College fired Sweet. They stated that her unviewing was not her political leanings, but instead her creation of a hostile environment for students. Many feared that their grades would be affected if they did not sign the pledge.